and climate bill.
As we head toward the Christmas holiday, maybe you're staying in town, perhaps you are on the road. We're going to have your latest holiday travel forecast from the Skywatch Weather Center.
Also, it's nap time for the Spanish volcano that's been terrorizing the La Palma Island for months.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Police find 98 catalytic converters in a Joplin woman's home. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Tanya Bach. Topping our first 7 minutes, catalytic converters are big targets for thieves, especially in the 4 states. And now Joplin police officers discover a truckload of them. They found 98 catalytic converters while serving a search warrant on North Walnut in Joplin. It's all part of an ongoing investigation into a rash of catalytic converter thefts around the area. The devices are used to reduce toxic emission from vehicles and contain precious metals that can draw big bucks for scrap. Investigators estimate this haul is worth about $60,000. They've arrested the resident, Pamela Sims. Last report, the prosecutor had not yet filed formal charges in the case. But this isn't Sims's first run-in with the law. Authorities charged her with receiving stolen property in September of 2020 after authorities recovered 24 catalytic converters from the same home. That case is not yet resolved. Authorities say 2 men died in wildfires that erupted across Kansas last week. In Leota, Kansas, officials say an 84-year-old rancher and farmer died at a hospital after trying to fight a fire near his home last Wednesday. And the Ellis County Sheriff's Office says the remains of a 36-year-old man were found near his burned truck. Dry conditions and powerful winds fueled the fires that burned hundreds of thousands of acres. We are getting a break from last week's winds, but we've traded the wind for colder temps. Michael Hayslip joins us with First Look.
For the time being.
Yes.
For the time being. That's going to change, not the wind, but the temperatures are. And really, Tanya, all things considered, we are, latter third of December. And the fact that we're able to walk outside at the noon hour and have temperatures in the mid-40s, it's hard to complain about that right now. We've got 46 in Joplin and Chanute. Let's go 43 in Miami and 42 in Monette. Now, with the sun ablaze, I tell you what, it's going to be one of those weeks where we're going to have to scrape the frost, not the ice, but scrape the frost each morning. But then by the time we get to the afternoons, we're going to be thinking, oh my goodness, is this really December? Because we'll be up into the high 40s, low 50s today, and Future Track just keeps all that precipitation really south of I-40, and we're going to be able to repeat on Tuesday. As a matter of fact, if we're going to go, we'll say low 50s on Tuesday, why should we stop there? Look at this 7-day forecast that begins to incrementally warm up as we get into the middle of the week with temperatures into the mid-50s. Probably scrape some 60s on Thursday. Oh, let's just go to Christmas Eve day. Possible record-setting highs is what we're talking about as we head into the holidays. And I know with kids chomping at the bit and on vacation, they're going to absolutely love being able to get out and not be stuck inside. Tanya, coming up here in just a little bit, we're going to do our holiday travel forecast, because if you need to be on the road or friends and family are headed your way, we've got great news. Minus one direction.
Okay. Interesting to find out what that is. All right, thanks, Michael. Well, President Biden's social spending and climate bill appears to be in jeopardy this morning after West Virginia's Joe Manchin announced he will not support it. The White House and Democratic leaders were informed before Manchin's announcement, but afterwards some lawmakers and administration officials expressed surprise. Senate Democrats have vowed to take a vote in the new year regardless. Natalie Brand has the latest from Capitol Hill.
West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin told Fox News he would not support the president's nearly $2 trillion social spending and climate bill, the Build Back Better Act.
I cannot vote to continue with this piece of legislation. I just can't. I've tried everything humanly possible. I can't get there.
The backlash from party progressives has been swift. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez called it a breach of trust in an interview on MSNBC.
The idea that Joe Manchin says he can't explain this back home to his people is a farce.
The White House, in a statement, called Manchin's announcement at odds with what he told the president in conversations last week, but promised to continue to press him to see if he will reverse his position again. The bill needs the support of all 50 Senate Democrats to move forward since it has no GOP support. Nebraska Republican Senator Ben Sasse declared the bill, quote, dead. But Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is still promising a vote in the new year, indirectly referencing Manchin in a letter to colleagues, saying members will have the opportunity to make their position known on the Senate floor, not just on television. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is also vowing to bring up voting rights legislation next year. To pass it, Democrats may have to agree to change Senate rules to allow a simple majority vote. So far, moderate Democrats have signaled opposition to changing filibuster rules. FedEx says the labor shortage cost the company almost $500 million last quarter. Even though the carrier's revenue was up nearly $3 billion, $470 million in higher costs helped keep its adjusted income essentially unchanged. Those costs were fueled by FedEx paying drivers and outside trucking companies more money to deliver packages. Company executives are optimistic, though. They say new perks like higher salaries and more flexibility for drivers are resulting in more applicants. A nonprofit group called Grow Granby is doing just that with a boutique-style thrift store called The Foundry. The city is leasing this building to a group of volunteers for $1 each year for the next decade, on the condition that profits will go right back into the town. The goal of this group is economic development and revitalization of the once booming mining town. All of the items in the store are donated, like new, and fund big projects.
The old historic hardware building right on the corner of Main Street was gifted to us. It was donated to our team. So we have an amazing building that we are getting ready to restore.
Student groups and other organizations will be able to volunteer on a monthly basis for the Foundry to earn 10% of the profits to support their own projects. The Foundry will officially open January 1st. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at noon, after 2.5 months, the Spanish La Palma volcano is finally sleeping. But for how long? And later, we're making caramelized sweet potato crowns. The volcanic eruption on the Spanish island of La Palma may be over. Scientists are keeping a close eye on the volcano as it returns to its slumber. CBS's Ian Lee reports on how residents are now counting the cost.
One scoop at a time, Daniel Geronimo's house emerges from volcanic ash. Spanish soldiers help him clear months of debris. The truth is, this is very difficult, he says, cleaning up while hoping the volcano stays quiet. For 3 months, lava spewed from La Palma's volcano, destroying thousands of homes and livelihoods. But now it's back asleep. Scientists have recorded no seismic activity. They believe magma underground is cooling in the lava vents. For residents on the Canary Island, it seems like a Christmas miracle. It's a great feeling that the eruption is over, says this banana farmer. Spanish police now have a new mission, helping reunite lost pets with their owners. We found the cats crossing the lava, says this officer. They approached us and we gave them food and water while checking to see if they have a microchip so we can return them. As efforts turn to rebuilding the island, in Spain's capital, Santa came a little early. Over the weekend, thousands of runners participated in a charity race to raise money for the victims of the eruption, while also sending a holiday message. They are not alone. Ian Lee, CBS News.
This eruption on La Palma lasted for 86 days, the longest in the island's recorded history, while destroying nearly 3,000 buildings. Still to come on the KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
Are you ready to shake things up for the holidays? We've got a new twist on an old favorite that does just that.
But first, Michael Hayslip returns with your complete forecast.
Almost feels like Mother Nature and the kids made a pact. She said, all right, I'll tell you what, you hold off, you do well in school up until Christmas vacation, and I'm going to give you guys just an absolutely beautiful week. You're not going to get cabin fever. You're going to be able to get out, get outside, and enjoy it all. Average high this time of year, 47 degrees, and that is exactly where we stand with a gorgeous, gorgeous look over 7th and Rangeline right now. Wind is coming in just 5 to 10 miles per hour. Latest gust picked up at Joplin Regional Airport, registering at 17 miles per hour. Now, despite the fact that we have that, our humidity not too bad. We'll linger about that 50% mark, which will keep us out of any elevated fire concerns. 46 in both Lamar and Carthage. Let's go 46 as well in Chanute. Cooler down to the south, where Miami sits at 43 and Anderson right now at 42, but considerably better than what we had at this point in time yesterday. We just lingered there in the 30s all day yesterday, kind of a blah Sunday. Good day for, I guess, all you who enjoyed watching football, but now that we've got sunshine and we begin our work week with temperatures about anywhere from 10 to 16 degrees warmer. Now, as a wind works in from the south-southwest, it actually does present a little bit of a wind chill. Yeah, so here we are sitting at the noon hour, and our temperatures still feel below 40 degrees for the most part throughout the 4 states. Pretty calm, contiguous 48. Split jet stream. We've got one throughout the upper plains right here that moves in off the west coast, and then another big trough down here. That's going to grab that Gulf moisture, but it's really going to limit the thunderstorm activity for today and tomorrow to kind of ride the Gulf. Not going to see a whole lot of northerly movement on it, and our travel forecast is just looking absolutely perfect as we get ready for the Christmas weekend. As we take a look at our temperatures for the rest of the afternoon, we'll go low 50s. Not going to see a huge bump from where we are right now, but that's perfectly seasonable. And then we begin our incremental warm-up. Now, one thing I do want to point out is before we begin the warm-up is the next couple of mornings we are going to fall below freezing, so don't be surprised if you got to scrape the old windshield when you walk out once again. All right, holiday travel forecast. Here we go. You staying in town? You're in luck. You traveling out of town? You are in luck as well. You trying to get out tonight? No worries. As a matter of fact, you go east, west, north, you're looking absolutely pristine, and temperatures not too bad there shortly after sunset, as we'll be in the 40s. Now, one thing that I do want to point out is if you're traveling down to the south, because that is where we're going to see a little bit of precipitation begin to take place. But the severe thunderstorm risk map, look at that. This is updated for Tuesday into Wednesday. Tuesday into Wednesday, we are actually looking that good. Now, I want to backtrack here just a second because our holiday travel for those plans is fine if you have to be on an airplane or perhaps you're getting ready to pick somebody up. Only thing I want to point out is that if you're going to try to make it down to the southeastern portion of the United States or the mid-Atlantic, then you're going to run into a little storm activity. But once again, that's going to remain as rain. Shouldn't be anything severe. Your travel plans include if you're headed or if you are receiving anybody from the west or down to the south. Our airport delays should be about nil here for the rest of the week. It's just absolutely delightful with a 7-day forecast that slowly warms up. And I want to point out Christmas Eve afternoon. I know that it always sounds counterintuitive when I say that. Christmas Eve afternoon, where temperatures are going to be up into the 70s. Tanya, our magic number, 73. And I'm not going to be surprised if on the 7-day, if we don't bump that up to about 71, 72 here as we work through the week. But if we get to 73 degrees at Joplin Regional Airport on the 24th, that will tie the record dating back to 1955.
Wow.
That's back when they were making new Christmas music.
They're constantly making new Christmas music, though. You know that.
I don't know why I've struggled with this as far as, I just thought about it over the weekend. Why, you know, at some point in time, all these...
I'm going to compile you a list tomorrow morning of like new Christmas songs that have been generated in the last couple of years.
And
like,
folks
not just remakes of old songs, but new songs.
But folks, think about it this time of year, like when we turn on the radio or if we're playing records or whatnot, dating myself, if we're playing records around the house or whatnot, we do think back to, 30, 40, 50 years ago. Those are the songs that I think people have a tendency to listen to.
True, because they're classics and everyone knows the words.
That's it. No, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
You're right. It's a sing-along.
Very true. All right. Thanks, Michael. We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Seaman Oris Coleman in the U.S. Navy. The sailor from Webb City served aboard the USS Enterprise and the U.S. Kitty Hawk from 1962 through 1966. Coleman earned the National Defense Service Medal and the Vietnam Service Medal. To Oris Coleman, we thank you, our four-state hero. Well, instead of that same old sweet potato baked casserole for Christmas this year, we've got something new for you to try, and it has quite the regal feel to it. Howard shows us how to make caramelized sweet potato crowns in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
For as long as I can remember, every holiday meal that I've been to always includes sweet potatoes finished off with some kind of gooey topping. This year's no different. However, instead of serving the predictable sweet potato casserole, we came up with individual sweet potato crowns that are finished with a to-die-for butter pecan topping. To make these, we start by cutting a couple of large sweet potatoes into 1.5-inch slices. We leave the skins on since it makes them look even more special. Now, we coat our sweet potatoes with a little oil and salt and place them on a baking sheet before popping them in the oven. While they're baking, we combine some brown sugar, chopped pecans, cinnamon, and a tad of softened butter. Once our sweet potatoes are fork tender, we top each one with a spoonful of our butter pecan topping, and back into the oven they go. We can even prep these early in the day and bake them off right before dinner. Serve these with your usual holiday favorites and watch everyone's face light up. It's a new twist on a longtime favorite that is guaranteed to get everyone excited. To get the recipe for our caramelized sweet potato crowns, simply visit our website. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a twist on a traditional way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Here's a look at our four-state market prices.
Your tassel.
Whole bunch of sunshine lifting us up into the 50s, and then we keep on warming up into the mid-50s on Wednesday, possible record-breaking temperatures by the time we get to New Year's Eve afternoon, and a delightful looking Christmas weekend as well, with temperatures in the 60s, even with a little scattered rain working in on Sunday.
Well, coming up tonight at 5, for many children, the prospect of rolling up a sleeve for a shot comes with a heavy dose of anxiety. And Health Watch, yeah, we'll show you how a California hospital is using furry friends to help tame frazzled nerves. Plus, Neosho School District is putting potential bus drivers behind the wheel in hopes of recruiting. And even though the Holiday Express train did not make it down the tracks this year, it still raised hundreds of thousands of dollars. We're going to find out which local Salvation Army will benefit from that money. Join us for those stories and much more tonight on the KOAM News at 5.
I want to thank you all for joining us here on the KOAM News at noon. Tanya and I will see you again tomorrow morning.
And the rest of the team will see you right back here at 5 o'clock.